Hello! Today we are playing more No Man's Sky because the thing's still going on. So I'm thinking going to look for upgrades is a good idea. I figured out where all the room stuff is. Don't know whether I mentioned this yesterday, but not yesterday. I wasn't streaming yesterday, but it's all here. Yeah, I think I remember doing that. I've unlocked a few things. One thing that we haven't unlocked is certain rooms. It seems like they've rolled back a few of the things that you have unlocked, which is a bit shit. But we've got the rooms are here. They're just not unlocked. I think I do have one freighter module, so I could unlock a room. Before we get into this, I was just having a look to see who was like in the chat already, and I noticed someone currently sitting in the chat. Flat Earth channel. Now, they seem to always be there. So I'm assuming a bot again. But it's streaming. It's 24 hours. It's a 24-hour Flat Earth channel. I've got it up here. Look. Look at this. I don't know. I've not watched it.
Corruption. It is all one organism creating disharmony and confusion in a world where nature always finds its balance.
What, the Flat Earth Society? Yes, I believe it is.
Not reach a balance. Not in this state. We've been deliberately stripped from our nature, and it's only getting worse as time goes on unless we wake up. You see, the sleeping masses are educated
Instantly,
instead of alive with wisdom and knowledge, while we the people are focusing on one problem at a time instead of seeing the entire picture. We cannot correct a broken world by giving our attention to the parasites that infect our world without even knowing what our world is. Flat Earth is the greatest lie ever told because it keeps people trapped inside of their minds and focused on fractions instead of the whole. Flat Earth is a born-again experience, which is why those of us who have awoken to it won't shut up about it.
No. You're just dumb. You're dumb as hell. It's not something you just go, oh yeah, you know what? It might actually be flat. That is completely flat. You don't wake up to this shit, okay? Doing your own science isn't always the best way. Are you a scientist? No. Scientists do this shit. NASA, I get that they've got like government funding and they've got all this government stuff going on, blah 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 blah, but fucking what? It doesn't matter. They are the scientists. They are the people who send people up and down to discover this shit. As far as we were concerned, before we sent anything up that high, maybe it was flat. But they did it, and you know, you gotta believe them because they did the science themselves. There's not a conspiracy. A conspiracy for what? What are you trying to hide? If it's an infinite plane of ice beyond that, what's out there? There isn't anything out there. What could be out there? What are they trying to hide? The ice? I don't think so. Oh, there are like big battleships and, you know, snipers and guards and all that. Fuck off. Are there? Really? Why? There's nothing out there. If it's ice, what are they guarding? It's not. It's not a thing. It doesn't make any sense. Everything that they do, everything they say, you can easily disprove just by, you know, knowing more than them, being more intelligent, which you are, automatically, because they believe in a flat Earth. It's ridiculous. Well, anyway, Flat Earth channel is apparently watching. I assume it's a bot, so they're not actually watching, so I don't think they come up in the chat thing. So, I think we're gonna ban them. I'm gonna add them to my my ban list. Gonna ban the fuckers because I do not want to entertain the idea that these people are valid in any way. What have we got here? There we go. Let's just check. Let's just check they're a bot. They probably won't come up. Oh look, there it is. Straight away, under list of all Twitch bot accounts, Flat Earth channels. Straight away, currently in 8,050 live channels. One of them's me. Hello. So let's just add that to the macro. Add that to the thing. There we go. File, save, and when I do another purge, I will go right ahead and have them gone. There we go. There we go. They're gone. So anyway, fuck Flat Earth, and we'll yeah, I'm because by the time I've got another stream up, because by the time I end my stream, I probably will have missed my slot, my like 24-hour slot to get my stuff. So I think I've got like another hour left until this guy can go off my screen. Zane's World, he seems pretty popular. He got a raid of like thousands of people yesterday, which was amazing. But you're here to watch me, not him. I just turned that off, and now it's absolutely boiling in here. So, I think we can unlock a room. What do we want to unlock? Industrial room expansion. Orbital exocraft materializer. I don't think I want that. I just want like a normal room. What's that? Technology room expansion. Spacious chamber with a technical aesthetic for expanding habitable spaces inside large spaceships. Horse! It's the horse ghost. So, do you reckon? I think technology room would be quite good. We'll start with the technology room. We may. Do I not have one? I thought I had one. It's like... Oh, they're starship storage augments. So, where's the one I picked up earlier? I've been playing for a few hours just to try and, like, get a bit of progress going. I've also organised a lot of this stuff. Where is it? Is it not here? Does it need to be in a specific inventory? I hope not. It didn't used to be like that. Starship storage augment. Oh. So I've only got starship storage augments. Why? I thought I had more than that. Yes. So the plan is today to try and get some more upgrades for things. Hopefully at some point... Where am I going? Hopefully at some point I'll be able to get a better frigate, but I'm not really looking for that today. I'm just looking for I'm looking for a bunch of ships that I can use to get storage augments. Now, I have spent a bit of time getting some ships together so that I can send them to the base, starbase, and dismantle them. They are basically in distress at this point. Hello, where is the... Where is it? Ah, there it is. There we go. No wonder I couldn't see it. It's like past the mast here. Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, of course, there's no... there's no warp cells. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself to the space station, and then I'm going to bring my frigate over, because I don't want to be using up warp stuff, just bringing them over. That shit's expensive. You got me confused. What the hell did I miss about people being a dirt? Oh, it's just the flat Earth people, aren't they? They're all idiots. The simple fact that they believe that it's a flat Earth is just laughable. But I banned them now, so it's fine. They were a bot account. Just that stream is bothering me. I'm gonna... There we go. Get rid of it. Minimised it so I don't have to keep looking over at it. Yeah, apparently Zane's World is a YouTuber and does a lot of this stuff. Claim scrap. Yes. Yes, I do. Let's scrap this thing. Salvage drones deployed. Blah 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 blah. Good. And I get a whole bunch of lovely resources to use later on. So that should have given me a starship storage augmentation. Lovely. Now, I'm not too sure what the rules are, because a few of the times I've done this, I've not gotten the storage module. So I'm a little bit wary of... it may have been because I had a full inventory, or maybe there's like another reason behind it, but it's... it was a little bit sort of... Oh. Okay, I went through all that effort trying to find them for no reason. So, as I said, what about people being derp? You got raided by no, I didn't get raided by anyone. I got the person the person I am currently watching on Twitch so that I can get my drops. Got a massive raid yesterday while I was watching, and he went from like, I think it was 500 to 6,000 viewers. So that was pretty good. Didn't seem that phased. Must happen a lot, considering he's got like enough. He's got a lot of viewers anyway. I suppose another couple thousand makes no difference. Okay, wait. No, I need to move some of these things out of my exosuit. Otherwise, it's just going to clog up. Which way did I go? That way. Okay. Yeah, let's get rid of that as well. I suppose I could just press X, couldn't I? X, go to the freighter. Oh yeah, there's one thing that's sort of bothering me at the moment, and it's the slime. It's sort of building up. Every time I've been exploring, I've just been getting more and more and more and more and more and more, and more slime, and I just need to get rid of it because it's just building up. And just not go and get more slime. I've got a refiner on my back there, so I don't need to worry about that. But it is getting a bit out of hand because I can make nanites out of that, and nanites is currency, which is nice. Yeah, I can put some more of you there. This can also be turned into nanites. And I've already got nearly 10,000 of that, so you know I'm gonna get rid of it. Turn it into nanites. What is that? Starship launch fuel. Can I just whack that on the ship? No. Okay, maybe that's what it needed. It just needed launch fuel. How have I got emerald? Where did that come from? Weird. Oxygen. There we go. Just a bit of organisation here. This is all going to go completely to shit because it's very hard to keep anything organised here. Once you get something, it always just finds the first slot it goes into and just lives there. So some of these things I need to have basically there. And these can live there. There's the mold, there's the slime, the rest of this. Lovely. I've got that, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Starship shield module. Do you reckon that would be any good? Maybe, you know what? I'm not going to open that. I'm going to put that on. I'm going to put that on the freighter and leave it there for a while. Because the ship I'm currently using, the little orange one, to me, doesn't make sense. Because if you look at it, all right, this is it. You got the cockpit here. Let's assume like there's like life support and, you know, landing struts and stuff like that. You've got the engine sticking out the back here, and where's all this storage space come from? Storage. This is all storage. It can be slots for bits and pieces as well. But look how much technology we've got on it. And then we've got all this that we can fill out as well with extra slots. This as well. Where's it going? So I'm going to swap it for another ship, something that's similar, but is a little bit more sort of. It's got storage pods on the side, a little bit like my original ship when I started playing. When I started playing this again. But yeah, it's all right though. I've already got it. I just need to deck it out with all the new stuff. What was looking again? And Sebastian. Trying to figure out what the stupid Earth people were involved with this whole thing. Yeah. It wasn't the flat Earth. I was talking about the flat Earth, and then there was the other guy, and then, you know, that's just how it was going. Yeah. I may spend some time also looking for these, because they are very broken. It'd be nice to have a few strange shield. One of these. This is one of the. This is one of the ones that I want to try and deck out. I've already sort of started with it, but yeah, I haven't quite gotten everything up to scratch. I want to see how much a spaceship is. Thing is, hang on, is that it's a C class. That's a C class, and it's very expensive. So yeah, the idea is maybe to find more of these ships. What I want to try and do is see if I can just buy them off of people first. There he is. See if I can get some cheap as hell ships and then just scrap them. So I've got a fair bit of money. I just need to, you know, think about it. Right. Yeah, you've got a bit of a crap ship, haven't you? Buy for 4. I mean, that is a good deal. That is. So this is my ship now, which I'm going to dismantle. So yeah, that was a good deal, considering. Where are they? I have got a stack of these for $1 million, and you can get these all over the place. If you go for distress signals, you can go to one of the traders here, get a distress signal like thingamajig, sort of like one of these. You can get a distress signal one of these, and it will either be. It's more than likely going to be an abandoned base, which has a shit ton of these little sort of eggs hanging out around it. Every time you try and gather them, though, monsters come out of the ground and start trying to, like, eat you. But there's a trick that I learned very recently. So yeah, I could get these fairly easy. You can probably... I've basically paid for that ship with pretty much one trip of getting those. So that wasn't too bad. So I'm just going to now immediately scrap this. And it should switch back to my other ship. Where to find upgrades? Scrap. How much did I buy that for? Because I think I... Wasn't it 4 something? So I'm only losing a little bit. I'll get the money back. Essentially. So, do I now have another... thing. I don't. See, this is what I'm saying. I don't understand the rules. Sometimes they just don't give you one. Actually, can I... Yeah, that was 4 before as well. So, like, where is it? Anyway. Maybe it's only on the ones you find. I'll have to go and do a few more. Ooh. Yeah, I could buy that. I'll just see if it's like a few times maybe you won't get it. This is the second one I just bought. So yeah, you're not really losing too much. You can get that back fairly easily. So yeah, if I now scrap that. Demi, how you doing? Hope you're getting your drops. Yeah, you see, it's not giving... So maybe if I buy it, it's not giving me... It won't give it to me. You know what, that probably makes sense. I'm going to send that to the cargo bay. Yeah, okay. To the freighter. To the freighter. Everything needs to go to the freighter. Don't want any of it. It would be nice if you could dedicate certain slots to items so that you didn't have to like go back. Like right now, because I've sent them all over, they're all just here. They're all hanging around in this inventory. But I've got like, oh, hang on, I've got all these slots which I've organised, and I'd rather it just go there rather than where it was. Because we've got all this organisation you have to do. I mean, you don't have to do it, but it's nice. Because sometimes you'll get something, and it will... you'll end up with, like, several piles of them, just sort of taking up slots. And that's no good. That's no good. You don't want to do that. Because if you're trying to get a lot of things very, very quickly, you're going to run out of space very, very quickly. I'm good, how are you? I am doing fantastic. I thought I was going to be sunburnt today because we went to a barbecue yesterday, me and Flat, and we didn't. Well, I didn't get sunburnt. I'm not really too sure about him. He was already sunburnt, but right now, I'm good. Sunscreen did its job. Hang on, is that finished doing its thing? It has. Why have you not? Why do you stop there? Well, that's good. I hate the sun. The sun is horrible. Apparently, we had. Right, I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday we had the dreaded heat wave. Apparently in August we're going to have another one, 40 degrees still. So it's going to be hell. It's going to be hell. We are not. This country is not designed for that sort of stuff. Why did I put it there? Bring that back. No, not you. We are definitely not like our tarmac on the road is melting because of the weather. When it hit 40 degrees, the tarmac was at like 53.5, I think it said, degrees, which is pretty much the melting point, I believe. So there were cars going over it, and because it was so sticky, it sounded like water. Just craziness. This country is not designed. Things are catching fire. There's like, you know, you've got fireflies. We had flies on fire. It's just insanity. We can't be dealing with it. Right. Make mold, please, forever. Yeah, our weather isn't good. Our weather is not good today. I turned my my aircon off for like a few minutes, and this room just heated up. These used to give you stuff. They don't now. Right, so I've got a few ships, haven't I, that I need to swap out. Is it that way? See, that's the one that I've got, which I'm going to deck out with all the nice new stuff. I think this one cannot land here. What? Why can't it land here? I've sorted out its like landing and stuff. It can't launch. I didn't give it any launch stuff. Ah, fuck. Right. In that case, I'll get in my ship. Can I, like... Oh, because I'm in this... I'm still in the menu. I'm going to bring the freighter to the door. They might as well dock. They do a bit of docking. Literally, like... Right here, it's going to be... no, that's not the right one. That's X. I don't want the galaxy map. I want this. Boom. There we go. So it's like right there. So now I can fly the other ships that I've got over. So I believe they can launch. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. It was really annoying because all my graphics settings had reset. Because it's been a while since I played this game, but when I started it up so that I could like start streaming it, all the settings were different. And it's surprising how zoomed in it was. Because I think it lies. I don't think what it was on was what it said it was. It said it was its field of view. I think it was set on 70, but it was like, I don't know, let's say a quarter of the size of this. It looked like I was zoomed in on like this here. It was horrible. Is this one of my ships? It is. Shields down. Well, but see, I can launch. How come it can't go anywhere? It's able to fly. I believe I sorted out its hyperdrive. I just don't understand. But anyway, it's fine. I've got it here now. See, this is one I found, so it should give me a salvage module. That's the theory. Come on, you little fuck. Give me my money back. Not that I bought this, I literally found it. And do I get one? Handful of cogs. No? No, I've got the bits and pieces off of it. I've got a few lovely B-class upgrades as well, which is nice. Activated indium. Did it go into another one? Is it like cargo? Freighter? No? Ugh, that really is a sucky old dick. Suck my dick. Yeah, and that's 4 still. So maybe it is like flip a coin. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. You just need to keep grinding away and doing it. And I love grinding away. So maybe buying these ships would give me some occasionally. Hey, your ship looks really expensive. I probably won't buy it, but I would like to see what the price range is. It's 7 million. There's no way I'm buying a 7 million ship. I've already got one that looks similar to this. Because I don't like this. I don't want this at all. What the hell's going on here? My chat stopped scrolling. It's weird. Am I meant to be standing here? It feels dangerous. Can we have some shitty little... Ah, you! Shitty little ships. That's exactly what I want. Where's your pilot? Here we are. I want to buy your ship. And potentially get an upgrade. I want to see what I'm... Yeah, that's fine. I want to see what I'm up against. Let's try and scrap it. Because I may just be, like, wasting my time here. It may not be worth doing this. Maybe it's just better if I go looking for derelicts. Okay, so that's scrapped, and I get... I saw something that said module then. Is that... Did I get a module? I did not, as far as I can tell. Oh, these modules. That is really annoying. I mean, it's not like I'm losing a lot, but it's really annoying that it doesn't just give you the things that it says that they do in the wikis. It's like the best way to get it is to buy ships and then immediately get rid of them. And I was like, well, that seems to not be the case anymore. So, you know, what's true? I don't know what's true anymore. And that still says 4, so it hasn't just skipped and gone there. Ugh. Alright. Let's just send everything to the freighter. Oh, I think... You know what? I think we're running out of space, aren't we? I specifically remember being able to send stuff to and from the freighter, like, better than this. It wasn't like the way it is now. Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but it didn't seem to be like this before. Oh, has that run out of fuel? Yeah, it has run out of fuel. It's got a lot to get through. Okay, maybe I'll just... Oh, okay, maybe not. You know what? This is fine. That's enough space. We've got a hell of a lot of cargo space anyway. I should probably sell these. So they're only C-class. I can get nanites from it. Oh, actually, can I... If it's... Value 60 nanites. So I can't just sell them. I have to use, like, the nanites. Okay. That's fine. I like nanites. Oh, actually, maybe... Starship shield module. Maybe it's probably worth dismantling them? Like, if I say I'm going to install it, and then, like, dismantle it. Oh, you get a bit of chromatic metal from it. That's pretty rare. I may just do that with all those C-class things. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. B-class is pretty good, so I'm not going to dismantle them. But I would like... Where are they? Oh, they're in... I forget I have cargo. No. Install. Is that actually going to do anything? Oh no, because I've got like S, A's, B's and C's here, so that doesn't really help, does it? 3% maneuverability isn't even any good anyway. I probably should check to see what they have, because that may be important. It might even be better than the C that I've got. So yeah, I don't want to be too. I hate being too. What am I doing? I just want to. What am I doing? Alright. There's literally a quick menu for this. I don't know why I'm doing this. X, move to the freighter. Move to the freighter. Move to the freighter. I can't move that to the freighter. In that case, that's going in my high capacity. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Superluminal drive. Backup superluminal drive. What does it do? Hyperdrive range 56 light years. An extra 56 light years. I've already got pretty good upgrades for that. So let's get rid of it. X. Yeah, let's just whack it in the. If it can go in the freighter, we'll put it in the freighter. But for now, I'll put it in my storage as well. Cargo. Install. Boom. What's that do? Plus 9% fuel. That's plus 2% maneuverability. Ooh. You know what? For now, that's better than that. Oh, hang on. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to be on my starship. Bring that back down here. Good. You are in my way. So, secondary warp core. Extra 75. Again, not much better. Is it X? It is X, isn't it? I literally was just using it. This is what I'm saying. It's instantly going to be a mess in there. Ooh, infra knife module. Can I? Oh, okay. That's a gun. I don't intend on using this unless it's good damage. I probably should check, shouldn't I? Either way, it's a C, so it's not really going to do 1% extra damage. Come on, that's not good. Maybe this is good for shields. It gets rid of shields, but you know, I don't really want to use it. There we go. You've finished. You haven't finished. You've still got stuff to do. Yeah, okay, we're getting a fair bit of chromatic metal. I think we can mine that somewhere. I've got a few, like, warp points set up from my previous play, all on my own, not doing any streaming. So, I think if we need, like, emerald, cadmium, and, yeah, look, here we go. We've got indium, cadmium, emerald. Was that the only three? Was there? I think there's isn't there like a yellow one I need to do? Let's have a look. Freighter. Valuable elements. 1, 2. Yeah, there. Oh, copper is pretty much found anywhere, so yeah, I didn't really need to make one. So yeah, I've got loads of copper. I've got a fair bit of emerald, cadmium, and indium. I don't know how I got so much activated indium. Maybe I found like a planet that only did activated indium. I may have been lucky that way, but Yeah, you put these together and you get chromatic metal. But you need to be able to, like, mine this stuff to be able to, like, get it and make that. Which is a pain in the ass. But I did it. I did all that already. I do feel like it's probably worth, like, maybe starting a new game just to have that experience, like, on camera, just to do it. But I quite like having shit, you know? I have it under good authority that the ships that you can unlock from Twitch, from this whole drop thing, you can do that on each save. So, you know, even if I did do a new one, at least we'll have a very good ship to fly around in, which is great. Don't mind that. So maybe I need to, like, I don't know, put it to a vote. Do you want to see me start from the beginning? That sort of thing. Just top you up a bit more. Where was I going with this? I'll go down this. You know what? I'll install a few. Because going back and forth is a bit tedious. No, it was Starship, wasn't it? Yeah, these aren't very good at all. No, don't want to install anything. Not right here. Not right now. I love seeing people start from the beginning, but it's also nice when you have a lot of shit already. I get both. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you just don't want to have to grind all the way back up again. Where is it? I remember the menus being a lot easier to navigate. Maybe I'm just being stupid. Maybe I just need to go through and just rebind everything. Because nothing feels intuitive. Like, why does that keep happening? Ending up in the wrong... I tell you why it is. It's because E to install is also E to swap this. And if you're just slightly off, you switch. Gotta be less clumsy with my button presses. There we go. So, what are these like? Nope. Nope. Oh, that had 2% maneuverability and 6% pulse drive efficiency. These are all pretty crap. If anything, I want to just like replace the A's, the B's, and the C's all with S's, because that's brilliant. Or X's. X's are really good. They're like cheat versions. They have, they're essentially like illegal upgrades, which I am a big fan of, especially for my exosuit. My exosuit's filled with them. Look at that. Heat resistance, toxic resistance. Usually these are just like one thing, like, you know, hazard protection, battery, but these are like multiple things for all sorts. I love them. Yeah. And especially for, what is it? Is it the multi-tool? Yeah, because you can get like 6,000% fauna analysis, and that's free money just for going on a planet and scanning shit. It's amazing. Yeah. So, that's all that. Hang on, is there anything else I need to think about right now? Deuterium, cadmium, ferrite, dust. I think after the stream I'll probably just go through and reorganise everything, because it's just going to be absolute chaos. Especially here. Trying to get everything into a safe space, because I don't really want to die, and I don't know what actually happens when you do die, but I don't want to die. So where do I want to be? Yuki! Yuki! How are you? What is the longest poop in the world? You're asking Alexa. Alexa, what is the longest poop in the world?
The French novel Men of Goodwill is the longest novel written till date, with a total word count of 2,070,000.
Well, there you go. The longest poop in the world is apparently a book. Oh, that is terrible. Why are you so shit, Alexa? You're terrible. Come on. Behave yourself. Why does it keep saying that you're a returning chatter? Like, everything you've said has been highlighted as returning chatter. Pretty sure that, like every single thing that you're saying is saying that you're a returning chatter. I need to edit that, because that's annoying. Let's get rid of that. Okay. I know you're a returning chatter, but it doesn't need to remind me every single time. Okay. Get back to the chat. How do I get away from this now? There we go. Okay. I'm pretty sure the longest shit is 26 feet. I believe I will be needing to clean my feet after that. Hey, you seem to... okay, I'm not going to try and buy your ship. I've fallen into that trap several times. This is the ship I want to be trying to upgrade, because it looks like it's got enough storage space. And... oh, it's got like one on the front as well. Here it all is. This is all the storage. I'm gonna fill all this out. Have I got... I went and found a Walker Brain for you. Lovely. Is there anything else I need for you? A warp hypercore. I haven't finished that. Can we get a warp hypercore? Yes, we can. Thank you. I need more platinum. Where'd you get platinum from? Emerald wiring loom. Lovely. What about you? Do you need anything? Platinum as well.
Balls.
Balls. Balls, balls, balls.
I've got balls of steel. I've got balls of steel. 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 Balls. I've got balls of steel.
Fucking, why horses? I've got balls of steel. My balls are made of steel. They're heavy. They are heavy balls of steel. Balls. Okie dokie. Yeah, so I'm trying to upgrade this ship. I should probably get rid of this ship now that I've, like, pretty much transitioned to the other one. But I just need to check to see what's in it, see if I can dismantle it. Okay, yeah, it's got a few things in there, but it's not as good as what I've currently been putting on other things. Is there anything in the cargo? Okay, right. We're going to start dismantling. Oh, I can't dismantle that. Take everything off of you. That's an engine. I can't dismantle an engine. It's part of the ship. Don't need you. Don't need you. Don't need you. Should be getting a brain back. Lovely. Nice. 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 Transfer to the cargo hold. Why is... What? How? Fucking just go where I tell you. Balls, balls. I don't know where I just put that. Oh, I haven't dismantled. No, that's shields. That's what I want to dismantle. You can come back as well. Yep. I love to get my comeback. Oh, wait, no, there was technology, wasn't there? You, and I think I can dismantle you. No? Okay. Aha. Hermetic seals. Nice. So now I can sell this. I think I'm going to sell this as well because I don't need a fighter. No. I mean, it's good, but it doesn't have the storage space. I'm mainly about the storage. There's uranium there. That was nice. Yeah. Okay, so I've got 2 ships to sell. Is there anything else? No, these are all basics, aren't they? Wait, where am I going? What am I doing? Do I need to go anywhere? I don't think I do, actually. I think I'm good where I am. Starship, multi-tool, freighter, again, just absolute chaos here. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm good. Just need to... Oh, you know what I should do? I should sell those, what are they called? These things. Because there's, like, millions just sitting here. So what do I reckon? Do we want to, like, try and... sort of start using this? Should be okay, shouldn't it? I mean, what else do we need? We just need platinum. And we can get that out in the asteroid belts. I've got platinum for this now, because I dismantled it from the other one. Yeah, we're pretty much nearly there. I need a lot more platinum now. If I dismantle that and move these up, then we get the boosts without needing the actual thing itself. There we go. Install it back in. Lovely! Nice! Very nice. Very nice. What? No, I don't need to build that. I would like to, but I don't need to. What's in here that's any different to that? A few experimental things, but that's about it. I think the rest of this I've got. Oh, I don't know. Ooh, it's hard to know. How have I... What? Flight assist reduction? What does that mean? Where did I get that from? Technology, cargo... Alright, I want... You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna start using the other ship. I know people are always like, I want a really cool looking ship, but I like these ships because they are ugly as hell, but they're really useful. We've got a lot more storage options. It's just nice. Do we want to name it Sasakis Gamble? No. How about the fucking gamble your the gamble your life away. Microphone literally in my nipple there. Away. There we go. Accept. Nice. So let's get out there and get some platinum if we can find any. Hostile subspace scan failed. Did I just get scanned as I was coming out? I hope not. But then I do have a thing that stops that, don't I? Where is it? Is it in the technology? Yeah, this thing. Cargo scan deflector. That's nice. Right. Yeah. I don't want to start actually adding the upgrades until I get all the new ships. Or all the A-class ones. Because if I start just using them all up on one ship, and then a better one comes along, I'm going to be a little bit pissed off. So yeah, platinum. Let's go find some asteroids and fuck them up. Pulse engine, unavailable space station proximity. Well, can we... There we go. And eventually rocks will happen. Can we have some better rocks? It's a bit sort of sparse out here. Maybe if I go towards the belt. Well, that's enough silver. Wow. Whoa, that is just deleting that asteroid. Oh my god. Oh, it's so good. I didn't need silver, but that is very powerful. I think the distance could be better. Yeah, I've pretty much got to be right next to it. Okay. Take me to here! Oh, that seemed quite densely packed. Maybe not? Is it not? Is that a big one? Actually, does it matter what I use? I mean, that's a mining beam, but I can shoot these things. Oh, I'm actually getting stuff. So, hang on. Okay, right. Pow, what do I get? Do I get anything for that? I get, like, 2 gold, but if I use this... because I'm basically deleting it, I get quite a lot. Ooh! Asteroids! This is what I want. Give me what I need. Yeah. Wave it about. Oh, this is good. What do these little ones do? What's in them? Silver? Are there like specific ones that that give you platinum? Or is it just a random chance that occasionally you'll get platinum when you destroy them? Tritium. Silver. Tritium's important because it's essentially a fuel. So I don't mind getting tritium. Also, you know, even if we do get too much of something, we can always just sell it. We probably won't get a lot for it, but we can just sell it, can't we? Oh, that must just be debris. Is there not an easier way to get Quicksilver? Can I buy it? I've got a lot of money. I could just buy it. Is it Quicksilver? It's not Quicksilver. It's platinum. What am I saying Quicksilver for? Also, this still hasn't finished. It's annoying because that's got to go in again, because you've got to turn the runaway mould into nanites, and that's the currency. Platinum, silver. Literally no platinum coming out of anywhere, as far as I can tell. Yeah, I've still only got 8 platinum. I'm going to stick that in here so I can see it at a glance. The thing is, I've not seen any of the, like, telltale asteroids of platinum havage. However, I am going to ruin this. Yeah. Now, if I ever encounter you again, you'll know who's boss. There's my lasers. My lasers are who's boss. Maybe these ones on, like, the outskirts have something in. Ooh, what's that? Is that a little one? Yeah, these ones, look. How? What do I get? Gold? Just gold? Seems so. I don't know what gold's used for. Is it anything useful? I don't think it is it? Crafting recipe, I reckon. Oh, no. Let's get back to the starbase and see if we can just buy it. Ooh, okay. These are very close together. Look at these things. Half my fleet is there as well. In we go. Glad it grabs you like that. Imagine the clumsy flying you could do trying to plug this in. Oh, you know what? I've just had a look. Where it says drops enabled on my screen. When I'm in the ship, it should be slightly higher up, so it looks like it's on that screen. Right, just bear with me while I do a little bit of live editing. See that? If I leave it like there, that looks good. That actually looks amazing. I tried to get it to look a little bit like this, but I think it's a bit too bright. Maybe we can edit it. Can we put like filters on it? Color grading, color correction. We put a color correction on it and make it a little bit darker. Brightness. Ooh, no, that's not quite right, is it? Bring that back to 0, please. Saturation, hue shift, opacity. Maybe opacity would do it. No. Leave the opacity where it is. Maybe bring the gamma down. Oh! Actually, that's brought it to the right colour. It's just a bit bright. Oh, does that look alright? Oh, you know what? That actually does look alright, doesn't it? I brought the gamma up, the contrast down. The brightness, however, probably could go slightly different. Right. Actually, you know what? It's probably better where it was. Yeah, okay. Well, that's just how it is now. I like that. Just a little bit of editing and it looks perfect. Maybe it's a bit too subtle now, though, because how's anyone going to know that the drops are enabled? When I'm out of my ship, that's how. Anyway, let's get the audio back. Is it too loud? Because I just noticed it's loud. Or maybe, or is that atmospheric? I don't know. I don't know anything. Oh, hang on. Wrong ship. No, it's... I want to swap to... Right, I want to get... What do you mean cannot land here? Why can't it land here? Summon... Can I not just... I just want to swap them. Can I not? What the hell are you doing? You see... Did its wings just retract? Ooh, hi. Summon... I thought I could, like, swap ships here. Cannot land here. Why? Cannot land here. Cannot land here. Why can they not land here? I thought they just... I just swapped them out. I didn't realise I had to come and actually... like, come with the ship. Fucking let me over. Why can't... The fuck? It just wouldn't let me over. Right, I have a feeling I'm going to buy this person ship. I think I'm still testing the idea that buying the ship and then selling it would, like, give me the thing that I want. The module. Do you have shit? Oh, you're a bit up yourself, aren't you? A B class. 1 million. You know what? Go for it. Maybe the higher class will give me a module. Scrap it. Get a bit of my money. Get a bit of my money back. I did get a few B class stuff. Handful of cogs. Nothing else. I don't think it actually tells you when you get a module. That's the thing. First of all. Refuel. No, I don't think I got one. No. It is annoying. See, now you're here. Why are you here? How are you here? I thought you couldn't land here. What about... No? Do I just need to be... Why can't I? I remember being able to. Fuck. Okay, well, in that case, I've got to go and bring it over, haven't I? Just a few quality of life things. I mean, if you can just swap out your ships in other places, why can't you do it there? Hey. Another one of these, is it? Hello. I know I'm sort of very slowly burning through money, just sort of trying to get myself a weird little ship to sell, but you know, I've got things to do. Right, this has been decommissioned, isn't it? So let's go actually destroy it and get all of our bits and pieces back. I wonder what happens if you... like, if it's still got upgrades on it, do you get the upgrades back if you just dismantle it as is? Without... that's going to need to be an experiment. I'll put something on here. Can I put something on here? Like, no, I've got some upgrades, haven't I? Maybe not the B-class stuff. Any C-class... excuse me. Any please C-stuff... fucking... C-class stuff. Open your fucking mouth, you bellend. Don't I have any upgrades? Like, any at all? Oh, I don't. I'll buy one. I'm gonna buy an upgrade. Hey. Hey. Not you. You. Give me an upgrade that is very recognisable. Oh, it's got S tier hyperdrive modules. Thank you. That's not what I'm going to be putting on it. Maybe we do want to use something that's like B class so we can tell what we're getting back. Oh wait, no. Positron module. If I put the positron module on, it's a bit expensive, but as far as we know, we don't have a positron thing on here, and it's S class, so we'll see the difference. So that is for other ship. You can have that. Chromatic refractor. It's an S-class weapon module. Right. Now, let's go dismantle it. See if we get it back. Open mouth. Insert dick up to the balls of steel. Balls, balls, balls.
Balls.
There we go. We've got it. We're good. We're fine. This is a quality stream. I'm sorry? Claim scrap worth 53 million units. 53 million units. Yeah. Bye-bye, the end of destruction. So, do I get it back? Handful of cogs, useful springs, technology, cargo, exosuit, boop, 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 activated copper. Where did I get all that activated copper from? Is that how much copper was in it? I didn't get it back. I didn't get it back, but I did get a shit ton of copper, apparently. Activated copper. Look how much I got, a full stack of activated copper. That's insane. Unless that was already there. I don't know. No, you cannot borrow 2 million. Get your own. Okay, so if I take that to the freighter. And... well, I happen to have 4,418 activated copper going spare here, so maybe I can, I don't know, sell it off. I could get like I could get 1 million for that stack of activated copper. I better keep hold of it. Maybe I can get a better price somewhere. So yeah, you don't get it back. So it is probably worth dismantling the things that you put on it just for the bits. I don't know. Maybe that's where all that copper came from. Are you done? Oh, you are done. Okay. Put you in the exosuit, refill you. And let's start making nanites. There we go. Oh, they're 5 to 1. That's good. That should get through them quite easily then. Okay. Exosuit. I want to move some of this stuff so that it's not in my bag. Okay. Okay, they're just going in the high storage, whatever. I can't put one on the freighter because apparently I don't have any space for it, even though I've got loads and loads of storage space. Okay, so... wait a minute. Okay, so it shows me all of that, and then goes further to point out that there's like extra slots there. So why does it only say that it had one? Where is it? Hang on. It had like what? There something had. Yeah, look, remaining capacity on the freighter 1. So where is that reading that 1? Is it that? I believe it is. How do I put that there now? And then come back out and go... what else is like a single object that I could put in there? This thing. So, yeah, okay, so that was that space. So why does it say freighter cargo? Oh, because it's only the cargo hold, isn't it? So is there like... oops. So I press... is it W and S? Not stack... oh, you can change the stack size. Okay. Change quick target. Right. First of all, why are you not moving? I'm scrolling up and down, it's not doing it. C to quick split. Oh, right, okay. Just trying to figure out, because I remember I was able to oh, E. It doesn't say that though. Yeah, it doesn't go. It says cargo hold, but it doesn't say the cargo containers. Am I right? I feel like I am missing something here. I can't get to the cargo containers through the X menu. Why can't I do that? The containers are on a planet. So... happy birthday. The containers are on a planet. Maybe I have no contact with the planet. Maybe? I'm just going to go and take this ship over. Which means I've got to go back to the planet that I have deemed my home. Which I may have to just, like, dig up or something, because I don't think it's absolutely necessary to have a base. Or maybe I'll move it here, because I think... Because I've got a village down on the on this planet here. Nuke your house. I could probably nuke my house. Did I Has this got anything in it that I could probably get rid of? Hyperdrive. A lumen battery, shield strength. Probably get the parts for that. Yeah. Okay. That's an S tier thing. Maybe I'll get another stack of activated copper if I get rid of it. I want to see where all that copper came from. Like, if I get rid of the, like, the base contents, like the actual things themselves, the storage cubes themselves, maybe they will, I don't know, do something. Ooh, hyperdrive module. Oh yeah, I forgot I moved that from there to there, didn't I? Okay, it does look like it's exclusively the ones that you find that gives you upgrade modules. Which means we need to find we need to find derelicts. So that's... God, how do I find them again? I think it's... There's a map guy. Ooh. There's a map guy hanging around here somewhere. They don't actually go into inventory, they just... They become nanite clusters and now they're my money. And he will give me... distress signals, that's it. One of you... No, it's the other side, isn't it? Over here. They've got it. Hey! How shit is your ship? Quite shit. Yes. Okay, this will be the last one I do. Just testing the theory. Going around dismantling all the ships. Hey, I want to buy your ship. Yay! Look at all this money! Puts it into a chipper. What are you doing? Anything. Any modules. Literally none. Just the usual stuff. Okay. I think that's now definitively it. Chlorine, coolant, thermal panels. Wants useful springs. Yeah, okay, so it's just the ones that you find on the ground. Okie dokie. I'm just gonna move some stuff around. Eh. What the fuck? Right, it's there. Activated emerald. Chromatic bullshit. There you go. Gold. I'm going to keep some of the basic stuff in here because apparently I can access these two things from anywhere. It seems to be very selective on when I'm allowed to use, you know, things that are in certain places. It's very strange. It's hard to describe. There's nothing has told me why or how I'm able to like get to some of these things. Specifically, why I can't get to these, which is one of the things I'm trying to do. I need to get to my planet and figure out why I can't contact any of the boxes, if I can at all anyway. Maybe they've just done a thing like you can't access it because you haven't researched it, even though I had researched the thing that could do that, and they've sort of undone quite a lot of that. So I was fairly certain my my frigate could like travel to different types of systems. Where am I going? I'm trying to get rid of that other ship, aren't I? That one over there, and that's like the last one. Then I can use the Stargate just to... Careful, these things are flying towards me. I can use the Stargate to just, like, go back to my base, my home base. Make a house a home. Home base. Wrong side. But while we're here, we might as well get a bunch of... Is it you? Distress signals? Hi. Cartographer. Yes, it's you. Hello, friend in maps. Make trade of IRC data. Many apterks here. Okay, good. Thank you. I want some specific charts. Give me... hang on. Settlement charts, planetary charts, commercial... Yes. Ooh. Whoa, whoa. I twitched. I just went... My arm just went up. Just like I've been slightly electrocuted for a second there. That was very odd. I nearly bought planetary charts instead. Wait, can I do... Oh, I can do more, can't I? That was one. Maybe... Should we get, like... Not that. Should we get, like, 20? Because they may take a while to explore. Wait, how expensive are these? How am I buying these? Is it nanites or units? Exchange 18 charts. Hold up. So it gets to 19 and I can't buy any more. So does that... What does that mean? I don't know. Can't you just buy the stuff you need from home base? Maybe. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Alright. Well, we'll buy the 18 charts and we'll see what disappears. Whether it's the nanites or the units. Oh! Exchange navigational data for new charts. So it's navigational data. That is... where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There is... Well, I evidently don't have it on me. There's a planetary chart. Probably sell that to him. Where is my navigational data? Is it on the freighter? Navigational data. That's apparently money. Okay. Salvage data. Total value 2 million for 41 of them. The salvaged heart of some ancient technology, unreadable in its current form. These databanks can be spent at a construction research unit. Okay. and used to research new construction blueprints. Where's that then? Excuse me. Also, I need to find out where these go. Does it matter? Can I just sell them anywhere? Okay. Take my navigational data. First of all, I have a map for you. Take that. Thank you. I want emergency cartographic data. Why do I keep buying just one? Oh, because I haven't maxed it out. Should be 17 now, shouldn't it? There we go. Oh, everything's so difficult. I mean, it's not. I'm just stupid, but it's a pain in the ass. So we've got that. Let's head home to see what the problem is. So there's my settlement. And my home is all the way over here, which I believe is several systems away. But because you can teleport there, it's literally nowhere. You're just across this gate. Now, ugh. I hate getting stuff on my face. It's horrible. So, what was I about to say? Yes. So the base that we're going to is the one that we started ages ago when I started streaming. I've got a clip of me not being able to pronounce an item that's in here. This is the same map. In fact, this is the same machine. What was it? The construction research unit. It had all sorts of stuff on it. Yeah, these are the storage cubes. This is where all those items actually physically live. And I think if these aren't here, they don't exist. Science terminal. Literally just teleport into place. Previous base item cache. Ugh. So if I dismantle this base and put one of these down, it will create... It will give me my items back? I don't know. Anyway, we're trying to find out why we can't contact any of this shit. Where the fuck? How would it be transferred anyway? Is this it? What are you? Signal booster. Online navigation subroutine. Extra suit. Please select navigational task. Locate nearby structures. No. No. Okay, so you're just... You'll find things for me. Okay. What about this? What's in here? The all-seeing eye. You're just the Galactic Trade Terminal. Paraphium? Okay. Can I sell anything that I've currently got? Because I believe we're in a completely different system, so maybe I've got some stuff that would be good to sell here. Nope. If I had decrypted user data and Star Silk, then we'd be in the money, but at the moment I think we're in the wrong place. We're in a GEC system previously. I don't know where we are now. Don't really remember. I think it's a Korvax system. Let's have a look. This is... Doesn't say, actually. You'd think it would. Flora Sentinels weather. It's just telling me about the planet. Current location. The Indian base, the Cadmium base, the Emerald base. They're all... I think they're all in different... This one's in a different galaxy. But it doesn't tell me where we are. maybe in this menu, the planet data, Parafium. Ah, it is a Corvax system. So it's got 2 moons by the look of it. Interesting. So why can't we interact with those boxes? What are you? I don't remember what you are. Exocraft summoning station. Alright, that's these things. All these vehicles. Can you, like, let me up? It's like a little steppy just sort of clipping me in. That lag wasn't on the stream, by the way. That was the game itself doing that. So... right, maybe there just isn't a way to have things be contacted. Nutrient processor, base computer, communication station, terminal for the composition and transmission of messages to other travelers. Okay, signal boosters, save point, save beacon. Right. Medium refiner, large refiner, appearance modifier, oxygen harvester. Antimatter reactor? Do we have an antimatter reactor? How is this place fueled? What the hell is that? Livestock unit. Is livestock now? Or was there already livestock? Automated feeder? Galactic trade. Well, we've already got one of those, haven't we? Base salvage capsule. Right, we had a look at that. The terminals for all the little people that are wandering around this place. Got the bits for... what the hell is that? Tentacle Spire? What is this, an anime? Hope it isn't an anime. Or do I? Barrel fabricator. We do need to create more of those because they are actually quite handy for they generate items just at random. They just like boop, pop back up. We've got a thing in here. They don't do that, but they do. You can just keep reopening them every now and again to see what they got. Excuse me. Navigator, indeed. Anal navigator. Navigate the anals. So, I am beginning to think that maybe it just won't allow you to... hang on, base computer. Do we have a base computer? It probably just won't allow you to do it because they just don't link. What I think is a thing actually isn't a thing. Oxygen harvester. Are you harvesting oxygen? You are actually harvesting oxygen. Okay. Just let that keep going. Is that actually going? Oh, you are going. Okay. How do I know you're going? Wait. You're not animated, so I don't know if you're actually going. I can hear you going, but I don't know if you're actually going. I don't know, is there like... can I stick a thing in here saying, you know, transmit? No? Probably not. Construction terminal. Hi, what are these? Can I learn some more construction things? No. Okay, fine. Your exocraft. What do you do again? Research. Give data on planets. Perfect traveler. This will greatly aid my research. Please take these nanites as compensation for your work. Okay. I don't know what I've just done, but I assume it was good. Thanks for the nanites. Ask what they are studying. Please say it's more, like, easier ways to get things. I didn't read any of that. Okay, well, maybe they just don't link. I get the feeling that is the case. Call Starship. End of Cuminot 1 navigational data required. But it's here. Why would it give me the option? Oh, why am I questioning things? Okay. Right, so it seems very clear that you can't get into them unless you are, like, elsewhere. Right, I want to go to the settlement, because it's been sitting there for a while. As far as I'm aware, settlements are meant to passively generate money once you've got them to a certain level. I haven't got it to that level yet. It's still in a it's in a sort of desolate situation. I need to do a bit of upgrading of things, but I may move my base here. I might just make a new one and see what happened. Although it is a toxic atmosphere, and I think I'd prefer not to have a toxic atmosphere. Maybe there's a village on the planet I'm already on. Who knows? Find out. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. I've heard that so many times from Flat now, it's just become second nature to me every time I hear, find out next time, oh, Dragon Ball Z! There is, I think it was, where is the building? Where is my building? The mayor's house. Where's the mayor's house? Who are you? This is Gek territory. Why are you here? Okay. Where is it? Ah! Wait. No. Where the fuck is it? Oh, I'm looking at it. It's there. Behind this one. This building. Yes, here we go. So this is the building that... I mean, you should teleport in there, shouldn't you? Oh, I've put another one of these down. Have I got... Loot? Nitrogen! Nice! No, you know what? Stay there. Excuse me? That's my house? What are you doing in here? Sitting down? Oh, you made yourself comfortable, have you? Okay. Make policy decision. Fund welfare measures. Plus 4% citizen happiness. Fund productivity improvements. Plus 63,312 productivity. What's our productivity already? Oh, the debt is just racking up. The maintenance cost is that per day. So it's slowly going to be draining my money away. I don't know what happens if you get to like 0 and you can't pay the maintenance cost. Maybe they just go, they just a big uproar and like you're sacked. I don't know, if we put the productivity up a bit, do you reckon? I mean, I'm not sure what, like... That's their current debt, which is just going up continuously, but, like, maintenance costs. Will productivity... Oh, hang on. No, that's money, yeah. Maintenance cost is that, so really we want productivity to be higher. So... But then if they're not very happy... make policy decision. Let's do happiness. Because I think happiness will be, like, slightly more useful. They'll probably be a little bit more productive if they're happy. Like, happiness should be directly tied into productivity. Built on cursed ground. That doesn't help. But unfortunately, this is like the default one that you get. It's one of those things where it's like it's one of the missions, essentially. Like one of these, the Settlers, Life on Harsh Frontier, and then it takes you to, I think, like the closest planet, or this planet, or whatever, and that is it. That is your settlement. I think you can resign and go and do a different one, but it just, you know, it just starts here. Hopefully later on I'll be able to not be here. Like, can I resign? Doesn't say anything about resigning. I can rename it, but I'll probably do that later. And this is a C-class settlement as well, so it's going to be absolutely pants. Maintenance costs, productivity. They get happier and more productive with the buildings that you build. So far I've built 2 buildings out of all this. I accidentally pressed that, didn't want to press that. Yeah. Supply materials, 3 hermetic seals. Okay. Let's make 3 hermetic seals. Oh, hang on, we've got 1 already. Oh, fucking hell. There we go. Right, now, it shouldn't take you too long to put them in. It's taking you an hour to install 3 hermetic seals. On what? Doors? Where are you installing these things? Oh, there's actually a room in here now. Still under construction, but, you know, it seems alright. I think this is meant to be a warehouse. And that's what this is. Doesn't look like a warehouse, though. There's no roof. So yeah, it would be nice if I can, like, get this settlement up as, like, a test. Just to see if I can do it elsewhere. Are you actually getting more? Hang on. Or are you full? You are full. Okay. But yeah, I should be alright in here. No horrible acids burning my suit away. Did someone say happiness? Yeah, they did. And then they were burned at the stake, because that's what they're like in this village. 27% happiness population, 38 citizens. We want to get that productivity up. But I want them happy first. Also, can you not, like, do curses? Cursed ground, it says, in this computer. No curses. Please stop cursing. Look, don't run. No running. Who are you? Kuko, please no curses. I also don't understand your language. Please, please start speaking whatever language I am speaking right now. I believe I am human? Big fucking question mark? Okay. God, it does lag a lot. These places are not good for the old graphics card and the processor and the RAM, the hard drive. All the parts of the computer. The case is hardly holding up as well. Okay. So I want to get to this station, the one that's in the current system, and sell the ship that I'm in, because that's the wrong ship. I don't want that ship. It's the wrong ship. Oh! 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 I need to have a wee. Big or wee? Wee, all the way home. Okie dokie, can I... Oh, I can't do anything with those. Right. I don't want this starship anymore. It's 5 million units! Where to find upgrades? Increase the size of the starship inventory or improve its base stats by upgrading its class. Upgrades to specific functions such as weapons or engines can be purchased from technology merchants. Okay, but what about the slot upgrades? I suppose I can just buy them? Claim scrap worth hibbity hobbity hoo. Okay. Yes. I'm not into fighters. I'm more about the haulers. Ooh, got some good stuff from that. That was quite a lot of chromatic metal too. I got a starship storage augment. Nice, that's what I wanted. I'm trying to collect these for when I finally start using the ships that I want. Because I don't like this ship. It's small and long, and it just, you know, it's just the wrong shape for me. And you know, and its navigation system is just way off. So, you know, I'd rather go for something slightly bigger and is very good at navigating. So what now? What are we doing? I'm gonna just quickly deal with some of this shit because it's all over the bloody place. I suppose we should probably do some freighter stuff. Because I learned that when you go to those like those derelict freighters, if you pick right at the end bulkhead upgrade, that's essentially one of these slots, and I would like more slots on my bulkhead slots, because at the moment I've got a few slots in technology that I need to fill out, and then these as well, which would be handy. It'd be nice to have these filled out a bit. I'll be doing that in a minute. For now, I'm going for a wee. Ad should be starting right now, so enjoy them. I'll be back in a sec. It means... Oh, fuck. Ow!
Wow, you survived that. Back up again.
Fucking cunts. Every single one of you. You're a cunt. I would have thought I would have spawned on the bit that I died, not popping out of a thing. Shush. No! I'm fine. I caught myself. Were those guys? Were they there before? Did that just happen now? No! 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 There's flames! There's flames in my view! I can't see! Did I get all my stuff or did it collapse? Did it go down? Oh, it's all in there. That's fantastic. Why have I got so many gold? No! 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 God, fuck my ass! Come on, get on with it! Fuck's sake.
I
Why?
mean, What does it entail?
I don't know. Why? Why with the horses all the time? Crash. Come here, chicken. I feel like chicken tonight. Come on. Come on, I want chicken. Spatchcock. How is it not dying? Run over with wheel. Come here. Ah, there we go. More like splatchcock. Or just cock. Cock. Gotta love that cock. Yum. There's a fucking goose in here.
I like big boats and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. When a girl rows in sitting in a little skiff and a motor on the back, you get stiff.
Oh, that's good. Also, I did notice particles all were on. Ugh. Right, I'm back. Back from my piss. It was good. It was a good piss. A nice golden yellow, like this. Look, a piss colour. You know what? I hate pressing X. It's fucking very awkward to get to. I know it's like directly down from S, but that is awkward to press with that finger. So I might rebind that to like, I don't know, I've got like a keypad on the side of my mouse. Maybe I'll set it to 2. So I think I've already got that set for this. But if I'm in a menu, that menu won't come up. So it might be worth doing that. Okay, let's have a look. Where is it? Control options. That's what I want. Remap the controls. So menu. No, not. I can rebind the quick menu. Navigate left, navigate right. So if I set that to like A and D, I mean that's probably a bad idea because if I'm in the quick menu, because you can use the reason I rebound that to the number 2 on my keypad on my mouse is because it's just an easier button to press. Like I could run away and then press that and like reload some things, but I think maybe I could just like stop and do it. I don't know. I'll work on it. There's a lot of things I need to work on. Flight controls, quick menu. Not really the quick menu I want, is it? It's the base part editing. No. Base part placing. No. Menus. So it's X I'm looking for, isn't it? Toggle buy and sell. Is there a toggle? No. Is there a like go through do thing? Like, can I rebind what button that is? I can't remember what exactly I'm trying to change anymore. So in the menu I can go. Oh, that's right, because quick transfer is X, but if I can have it on the mouse, that would be great. So I'm looking for quick transfer. Menus. It's not there. Quick transfer X. There we go. I set it to that button. And go away. There we go. Now I've got to get used to it being on there, but in the end it will be good. Do I need to recharge anything? My mining beam? I don't need to recharge any of these, do I? No. Good. I suppose it does go to the one that is empty, so yeah, I shouldn't have really bothered going through them. Okay, so do I have any other ships? Because I think I've still got the other one, but I don't want to sort of strand myself going, oh, I had that and this, and now I've got not so good stuff. I still don't know why I can't summon you to this place. It's a bit shit that I can't. I'm off for a bit, trying to be a healthy person and go running. I'll be back if you're still going when I inevitably and quickly give up. Yep. I will be. I'm going to at least try and get... Don't bounce off there. I'm going to try to go for at least 4 hours, so, you know, people can get their bits and pieces from the drops. The Twitch drops. Yeah, okay. Do I have anything in this current spaceship that I need to transfer over? There is nothing in the cargo holds. This is all built in. Good. Let's go use the other one. Where the fuck is it? Where is my other ship? Haha, there you are. See, if I can do that here, why can't I do it there? Okay! Magnetic resonators. Oh, do I need that for this? No, I don't. So why have I still got these? I want to stick you in one of the boxes because I don't want you cluttering up my inventory, considering I don't need you at the moment. There we go. No, it's a starship, isn't it? Tritium, silver, platinum, necessary. Gold nuggets, gold nuggets, gold, and tritium hyperclusters. I can't remember what gold's used for. I like that the quick transfer has now got an exclamation mark on there because it doesn't know what button I've set it to, because it's a keypad, but it's meant to be button like mouse 4. I don't understand why games don't understand what mouse 4 is. They should have like, I mean, I've got 12 buttons on the side of this thing. It should be able to go up to mouse whatever. Why can't they do that anymore? Well, I say anymore. Why can't they do that to begin with? They're still using super basic, like, computer terminology and technical wizardry from the olden days. And yet we've got games like this. Okay. Now, I've explored this planet for quite a while. Let's go to... Should we go? Where should we go? I think if we go there, we'll have to face some storms. But I think we'll have to also face storms there. Is that... Wow, my... There we go. Yeah, my lasers are not as powerful. You know what? I want to go to the red one. Where's the red one gone? I lost it. It was here somewhere. Ah! There you are. Let's head to this planet. Straight on. Mind the rings. Mind the rings. Ah. There we go. Unknown planet. Undiscovered. Apparently, I've never landed on this planet before, despite being in this system for quite a long time. So, it's going to be interesting. That means I can get money from scanning things. And with those upgrades, those experimental upgrades, those illegal upgrades, it's going to be a lot of money. A couple thousand, not like millions or anything, but yeah, it's still quite a lot. I still didn't sell those weird pod things either. Maybe I should do that first. Okay, maybe they are quite powerful. Maybe I should get the wiki up, because I've got a lot of questions that need answering. Just gold nuggets again. Oh wait, it tells you. Extremely valuable interstellar trading to typically mined from asteroids, occasionally found in underground planetary deposits. Okay. Does the planet that we're going to have deposits? Where is the planet? Oh, it's there. We can scan it. Press 3 to scan. Why is that 3 now? Actually, you know what? I like it. I like it being on 3. Parathium, magnetized ferrite, high sentinel activity, copper. Ooh, what's that? Tritium-rich asteroid. Okay. What is it telling me about? Oh, I crashed. Tritium. Nice. What the hell is that? What was that? Did I just kill something? What's the difference between tritium and the tritium that I've been getting from other asteroids? So if I, hang on, so if I scan them, does it tell me what's in them? Tritium rich, tritium. Wait, does it only scan forward? Seems so. It's only telling me where the tritium is. Are there different asteroids per item? What does that give me? That one gives me tritium. Is that this one? And it gives me nothing. Hang on. That one gives me silver. I hear a spaceship to my left. My right, sorry. Tritium. Definitely still tritium. If I do a scan right now. Hey, it's mining my asteroids! Wait. I'm gathering the stuff from him. Are you helping me? Are you meant to be helping me? This feels unfair. Silver again. So, okay, so it does seem like specific asteroids give you specific things. What was that again? That was silver, wasn't it? No, that's gold. So maybe it isn't. What about these ones that look slightly darker than usual? Silver. I suppose you're going to be tritium. No, golden nuggets again. So it's just random. hypercluster, that's nice. Hey. Hey, you. Wonder what happens if I try and fight it.
Hostile scan detected.
What? Oh, no you don't. No you don't. Oh, I've got to get to the planet. I've got to get to the planet before he tries to kill me.
Threat detected.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to...
Hostile ships
Jesus!
approaching.
You disabled my things. Okay. Now, the good thing about this is I've learned how to lock on and the ship will just stay locked on. Where are they? There we go. Fuck you. The maneuverability isn't great, but it's still doing the damage that it needs to. Cool down. Nice. Oh, come on. Not ramming speed. Oh my god, it is just all over the place. There we go. Right.
Ships deleted.
Yep, I'm just trying to... There's probably going to be more, so I need to get to the planet before they catch up with me. They tend to do that. Yay! 8 out of 9. Very nice. Okay, we don't want to land or crash. We seem to be stuck in a tree. Okay, how have we ended up stuck in a tree? Unless I've told you to land, you're supposed to sort of avoid all these things. Reach rank 7 with the GEC. Entering atmosphere. So, I can scan. And sometimes it will give me... Oh yeah, I just realised that's why that alarm's going off, isn't it? You need to use one of those. There we go. Does that not recharge? I thought they could recharge. I suppose I don't have that, do I? Maybe I should install the cyclotron ballista, because that's pretty good at getting rid of shields to get rid of those battles. I say get rid of the battles still happen, but I will survive a lot better.
Technology installed.
Okay, apparently I have that. Dyson pump.
Installed.
I do not have any amino chambers. Apparently I can make them.
Product constructed.
Did I only need one? It's 3. I've got 2 though. I must have some on my base or something. I don't know. They are the only upgrades I've got. Right. Silver, platinum, tritium. You're sitting down the bottom now. So that does that and gets rid of shields. All good. So why am I here again? Oh, yes, we've got distress signals. Just move these down here. And I need platinum for that. Okay. Where are the distress signals? It'd be nice if they were in my my guy, my starship here. There we go. So there we go. So abandoned building detected. Right, the abandoned buildings. They're okay if you want some nanites and those orb things, which I think we will gather just so that we could, like, where is it? It's there. And it is 45 minutes away. No, it's not. It is... Oh. It is 1 second away. Because then we'll get several million just in one trip. I think for the amount that I can stick in my exosuit, I can get like 667,000 just for a whole bunch of them. But these are the things that we're after. Now, when I do that, there will be some monsters come out, and they are not very friendly. Mining beam? Why does my mining beam look blue? It wasn't blue before. Why is my mining beam blue?
Technology recharge.
It's just... Right, that's not a different colour. But that is. Is it the atmosphere? Has the atmosphere made the laser a different colour? Or have I got like some sort of perk or something that I've not noticed? I don't know. I haven't installed anything on my exosuit, have I? No. Have you finished? Ooh, you finished. Can I do some more stuff? Specifically the rusted metal. Because that's going to start getting tedious to carry around. Especially because I'm about to give you some more. Oh look, more slime. I've read this several times. It's usually just about dead travellers, and then it starts getting philosophical. And really quite tedious. Usually there's something here. Ah, there we are. So, nanites, encyclopedia, I learned a word. Ooh. Some of that. It's essentially like a little loot room. Some units. This could be anything from nanites to money, or some object or something. No, it was money. These boxes. Restore shield just in case. And first aid, might as well take it. Now that noise was a ship. And that ship is... There we go. These don't do anything as far as I can tell. They just show up. And then they bugger off. I think it's more just like... Just atmospheric, so you can look at it and go, oh wow, look at this, what's that about? Oh, it's amazing. And then they warp away. Like, oh my god, what an experience. What is that? Paraffium deposit. Do we have paraffium? I think we've got paraffium on the freighter, but like, have we got a lot? I'm gonna move that because I'm about to go to... Oh, I've got loads of activated... Oh yeah, of course I've got loads of activated in. I said that earlier. So I can sell that if necessary. We've got 76 paraffium. We should probably mine this, considering we've got so few paraffiums. There we go. Paraffium. Whatever that is. Alexa, what is paraffium?
According to Wikipedia, paraffin wax is a soft, colorless solid derived from petroleum, coal or oil shale that consists of a mixture of hydrocarbon molecules containing between 20 and 40 carbon atoms. It is solid at room temperature and begins to melt above approximately 37 degrees Celsius, and its boiling point is above 370 degrees Celsius. Common applications for paraffin wax include lubrication, electrical insulation, and candles. Dyed paraffin wax can be made into crayons.
I said paraffium, not paraffin. But we learned something about wax. At least you did. I couldn't hear a single word. Everything is quite loud. I should probably bring this down just a tad. What was that? Storm?
Toxic protection. 40.
Ooh, is it? Oh, okay. Let's, Right, now, I said earlier that there's a trick to this. Now, when you laser these to mine them out, the, oh my god, beasts, horrible, horrible creatures come out. But, if you mine down just underneath them, okay, that storm is really, and you can just shoot them out. They don't spawn in the hole, and these just sort of funnel down. So you can grab them, and they are not killing me. I'm just going to come in here to protect myself, because I've got to get a good look at these beasts. Now these things are a pain in the arse. I don't know whether they've got like a bug or something, because when they hit you, if you jump, they fucking catapult you miles. I'm not kidding. It's like a launch pad. It's just crazy what they can do. Yeah, we've got a storm here. I think what we'll do is this should be enough protection. We'll do a bit of scanning while the storm's going, just to get some money. Oh, hazardous flora. Can I scan it though? That'd be nice. So how much am I going to get for this? 25,000. That is a lot. Ow. Alright, it's the big one that I want to scan. Were you... Oh my god, they're everywhere. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh no. Everything is poisonous. Hello? Subterranean relic. Vortex cube. I've just got a vortex cube. Vortex cubes can be sold at a galactic trade terminal. Fusion of metal and rock, these cubes have proved resistant to industrial processing. As such, they are of value to only collectors. Yeah. Storm clearing. Okay. How much was it though? How much did I get? Could I get from them? 5,000. It's not a lot, is it? Considering those orb things are 69,000 per unit, I think I'd rather go for them. In fact, you know what? I'm actually just going to discard this because it's just taking up a slot I don't need. I don't need it to. Am I being hunted down by a creature? Oh, they're right up there. So the storm is no longer a storm? Is that what you're telling me? Yep, that's fine. Toxins. Enjoy your toxins. Strange that I can't scan these things. This isn't an exit at all. 36,000 just for scanning a like stalactite. Gotta get out of Poison Cave. It's poisonous. Ooh, flying beasts. 69,000. Nice. Trees. Ooh, there's different flying beasts here. What was that? I heard a creature. Have I scanned you before? No, I haven't. Anyway, storm has subsided, so we can go ahead and do this now. Just make little divots in the ground for them to fall into. There's another one of those games that has a limit on how far down you can look, and it's like, and it gives you this sort of radius that I don't like. Especially considering you'll be picking stuff up off the ground, you know, it seems like a bad idea to put some sort of limit on how far down you can look. Okay. These will all be ready for me to gather up. So they should fall straight in as well. Yep. Good. I think that's it. Oh wait, there's this one. And then I already did that one. Nice. Okay, so no, I can mine them. So you see that? They fall into here, but they stay up there, which is nice. This one might not be. Oh no, they are trying to kill me. This one's not deep enough, I think. Yeah, there we go. Still trying to ping me off into the sky. See what I mean? See how far I went with that? This one should be deep enough. There we go. Hey, those ones seem to be invisible underneath. That's odd. Nope, leave me alone. I think that's it. No, there's one more. Oh, not are you down in here with me? No? I think there's a fourth one here somewhere. May have missed it. Nope. And I think this is the... No, there's one more, isn't there? There's just one more... One more hole. One more hole to plunder. Where did that one go? There was 4 for a second. Oh! Yeah, okay, sometimes... It does take like a few seconds and they're gone. They basically evaporate. So this isn't... yeah, so this isn't very good for if you want to get upgrades, which is what we want to do. So we may end up ignoring these ones sometimes. You have to still visit them for them to come off the list, because you can only do one at a time, and they don't go away unless you visit them. But, yeah, it may be a case of ignoring them. If I want to get loads of money, however, I go for them. Is it the exosuit high capacity I'm looking at? I don't remember. Whatever. Why did you stop at some point? What's that about? sweet. Wait, if I got that cargo. Yeah. I mean, look how many of these I've already got. It ain't a problem getting them. Oh wait, no, I wanted to be there, didn't I? Parathium. Apparently, I can't send that to the freighter because it's in a cargo hold. That's why my freighter is full from the base menu. Ah, sort out the base menu again. It's really annoying that you can't just move here. That's... I mean, it's not like you can build anything there anyway. It just sort of blocks you off from being able to do anything. So if you have to make sure you're like over here. Come on, game developers. I mean, it's not a great big important thing, but it is a sort of quality of life thing. You shouldn't have to be over here just to move. There's nothing there. I can't do anything here except transfer items, and I'm not even pressing that button. So why can't I move? It just makes navigating a hell of a lot more complicated than it actually should be. Just need to get everything out of here so I can actually do things with my life. It doesn't help that this moves around as well. Chlorine. Where did I get chlorine from? Who knows? We will never know. Nitrogen goes there. I should probably redo you because you're running out. Okay. Okie dokie. Just clearing out. It was amazing how much clutter you end up with. Oxygen. Nope, that's got to go on the freighter as well. It's got to be much easier than this. It does feel like I'm missing something. Again, I'm just going through those. It just seems really strange that you can't do it. Was that? It was ferrite dust, wasn't it? We've made a few gaps, haven't we? That's another one of those. We'll visit it, and then we'll bugger off. Oh, what's that? Distress beacon. Yes. Was that what we discovered, or was... Is this just... We've been in range so we can find it? I thought it was just another building that we were going to. Distress beacon could either be a derelict ship or a guy in a derelict ship. And if it's just a derelict ship, we can have it and then sell it. Oh, I say sell it. Dismantle. Ooh, it looks like it might be empty, but we'll see in a second. They do look the same. It's just one of them's got a bloke next to it. There's no bloke. For cesium, we'll have that, thank you. the nanites. Okay, what have you got to say? A small skeleton lies dead by an advanced-looking exosuit, as if it was struggling to put it on during his death throes. The ship readout displays a crash date from the recent past. How could this life form have decomposed so quickly? I hear a terrifying buzzing noise approach from behind me. If I run now, I could take some loot from the cargo hold with me. Take cargo hold and run? I take the cargo and run. Flesh-eating insects follow, but die in the planet's atmosphere. What did I get? Unstable plasma, a Gek relic. Nice. Buried technology module. Now these are pretty good because... Which one do I want? I want that one, don't I? Because these can sometimes have some interesting stuff. Salvage data. Okay. It's always good to open these up sometimes because, as we've found out, the what are they called? What was it? The navigational data stuff. We need it, and they come from those. Claim shit. Didn't even have to buy it. It's literally just a claim. Now, I need to gussy it up. The launch is already fine, okay. Yeah, they're fueled. I'm curious. If I put a warp cell in there, would that make it capable of, like, ending up on the space station? Right, yeah, so now all I do is leave this here, and hopefully it can warp to the ship, the freighter. Hopefully. I should be able to just swap it out. But, yeah. No promises. There is a way of, like, cheesing it. You can log out and then log back in again and all your ships will be on your freighter. But, yeah, you shouldn't really have to do that. Right. Let's try and find another one. Please don't be a building, please don't be a building, please don't be a building. It's a building, fuck you. Abandoned building detected. There it is. How far away is it? Quite far away. Even with the booster. Walking around the planet, no big deal. Thermal load. Thermal load? Oh, thermal load, okay. Let's see how hot it's got. Right, now I think you can get navigational data from these things. If I do this, destination reached. Yeah, there we go. And nanites, ooh. So now we know that that's a currency. We got to get shit tons of those. We're not going to bother with the eggs yet. Well, not until I like need lots and lots of money, which I currently don't. I think I've got 23 million. Didn't I sell a ship that was 53 million? What happened to that? Where did that go? haven't I got the 53 million? Did I make a mistake? There we go. Projectile ammunition. You what? Fucking... bloody ceiling tentacle. Yoink. 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 Ooh, you're pretty good. More slime, of course. We need lots and lots of slime. Have I not got any refine? I've got an industrial refiner on the freighter, haven't I? So maybe I should just save up the slime rather than constantly going in here and like trying to get rid of it. So just do it in batches, like every now and again. I mean, like, there we go. That's the order it goes in. So, yeah, that should be all good. Also, that can be it as well. That can be nanites. Did that? That was quick. Oh, you don't have any fuel. That's why. Yeah, that's the problem with this. Just constantly having to go in and refuel it. Okay. I would like maybe an abandoned freighter or a ship. Either one would be nice, but nope, we've got another abandoned building. And that is a long way away, even at the full boost. So let's just pop out into space, pop around the planet, and... Ooh. It would be nice to get a freighter one, because I need to unlock rooms, just basic rooms. Destination reached. I suppose if I've reached the destination, I don't necessarily need to come in here and do the thing, but I do end up with a fair few things from this. It's like, what do I get from this? Is it just like ammo or something? Oxygen, nanites. Sometimes it's nanites. Oh, what's that? My health is at maximum now. Yay! And I got some condensed something or other. I think it was carbon. Bothers me that takes so long to go into my inventory. And out again. Where's the beacon? Where is the beacon? What the hell is that? Is that anything? Why does it look so different? What the heck is this? What is this? Is this just like impenetrable ground to prevent you from like mining too deep? You know what? I think it is. I think that's bedrock. The bedrock of this game. Ah, it's over there. And thank you. you for whatever you just gave me from that. Navigational data, I think it was, and one more navigational data from here. Very nice. Do a bit of scanning as well, while we get some money for it. And that weird ass mushroom. 25,000 from a tree. Not too shabby. Knowledge stone. I want to know a word. I got the Gek word for us. Yeah. Hey, do I know you? Ooh, I don't know them. What are you? 100,000 for learning what that is. The Rock Rio. Strange sounding Pokemon. Is there anything else on the horizon that I could scan? I suppose these big trees probably need a good old scan, don't they? Give them a good old scan. Give your meat a good old rub.
Weather warning. Incoming storm.
Are they trees? I seem to not be able to scan them, but then they may just be too far away. Maybe they're big. Item recorded to catalogue. What the fuck? What did I get? Something about roots? Bulgy roots or something? Raw materials. Crafted products. Equipment. Still don't know what that is. Construction parts. Trade commodities. Curiosities. No? Where is it then? Catalogue. Oh, pulpy roots. I see. Jade, peas, an edible plant. Interesting. Cooking products. What's the point of cooking? Portal glyphs. Value. What? Value? Have I sold these? Can I sell them? I have quite a few of them, it seems. They're all the same, because I'm literally just cycling through the same lot. Okay. Interesting. Raw materials. So what haven't I learnt yet? What's that? Ammonia, uranium, dioxide and phosphorus. If I stick them together, what does that make? Bippity boppity boo. And that, whatever that is. I assume that's probably something I can grow. Huh. Oh god, yeah, these are big, aren't they? They are so big they do not count as plants. I cannot scan them. This is a storm, and I am rapidly losing my protection. Ah, god damn it. Oh, you know what? Just... Where is it? There it is. Just bring the ship here. It was like a meter away, but I brought it here. Come on, land, thank you. I am dying here. Okay. Next distress signal, since we are the heroes of the universe. Some sort of... Did not want to land.
Weather update. Storm clearing.
Oh, nice. Why did I get out? Is that another... Oh, no it's not. It's a crash site, and it... Did I? It's right there. Was it there before? I don't recall that being there before. That's very odd. Okay. Now the trick with these are, you talk to this thing, read the log. It's usually a load of old bollocks. And then you get freighter salvage. Press escape to change the active mission. So you've got to go into here, into your log, click it. Otherwise, it doesn't register the cargo pods that you dig up, because you've got to use this to find the cargo pods. There's one. I can highlight it there, and they're always in the same place. There should be one down there, but I didn't see it. And then I think for doing that, no, I'm in the right mode, aren't I? I do want to sort that out there. I think for doing this, you get a freighter module. Yeah, there it is. That's the one that I was pretty much directly in front of. I think I was standing right on top of it, which is why I didn't see it. But it's right there, through this floor. God damn it. Just, there we go. We are standing on top of it. Ooh. Okay. I didn't... It gave me stuff, but I can still get into it. What the hell? Thanks.
Extreme subterranean radiation detected.
There's one there as well. Okay. This one's fairly easy to get into because it's just got that. Just break through the door. Pop. Item recorded catalog multi-tool expansion slot. You what? A multi-tool expansion slot. Upgrade unit. Flexible upgrade circuit compatible with all-person multi-tools. This module can be wired into a multi-tool at a space station multi-tool upgrade rack, granting the user more space in the multi-tool's internal layout to add further upgrades or technology specializations. I had no idea you could do that. Because so far, it's been full, but it's had all of this. Just sort of sitting here with no space. Please say it's not just, you know, unlocking a slot. Because that would be shitty. Oh, yeah, every time you open one of these, it leaks radiation. I really hope it does actually just expand the multi-tool. Please give me another one of those, that would be amazing. Oh, I would love it. Nope, Starship launch fuel. Speaking of, does mine need refueling? Doesn't... Like, the base of this is usually just... Every time you launch, it's 25% off the fuel that you've given it. Can you, like, just let me through the door? I'm standing directly in front of it, and you're like, no, bit of thing just said no. We're going that way now. Hello? I hear ships above me. There we are. Yeah, there's a cargo pod there. Oh, we've got one over here as well. Didn't we already do that one? What the fuck? Oh. Yeah, look, there's a fucking hole here. There's an hole already. I've already done this one. Apparently I've not done this one. Warp cells. Lovely. 11 warp cells. That's quite a lot. That's pretty good. And I think the last one is in here. There it is. Yeah, I've done this loads of times. There we go. And I got acid from that. Right, now because I completed that, did I get a salvage module or whatever? I didn't. It's hit and miss, isn't it? It's hit and miss whether you get one or not. And after doing all that, it's very annoying when you don't. Maybe I can hand it in. Do I have to hand it in? Is that the point? I've got to just talk to this thing again? Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. No, I'm not. I'm back, and so healthy. I bet you're all red and sweaty. Just like my knob. Always sweaty. Red raw. Please just be a ship or something. No, abandoned building, and it's you. 17 minutes away. Nope. I do look like a penis. Bit rude. You made me say I look like a penis. Right, are we sure we can't scan this? Nope. Destination reached. Good. Give me some science. Navigational data, rusted metal, always a good sign of there being metal in the vicinity. Oh, I don't fucking know. Love the power of making you read things. Yeah, well, it seems to be it's one of those things that you just have to do when you stream. You have to read out the chat, otherwise they think you're people think that you are ignoring them, and that's not sociable. It's one of the social graces of being a streamer. You have to do it. And if you don't, you're a shit streamer. I mean, I get when you have so many people in chat that it's going so fast you can't read it. That's understandable. And that's when you've got. That's why the tools for, like, you know, member only or subscriber only chats and stuff like that they are helpful, because, or like highlight only chats, because then it's sort of what am I trying to say? It limits what you see on the screen, so it's not just whizzing past. Whiz. Follower only chats, subscriber only chats, highlight only. It's got loads of choices. Just pick what fits you. Excuse me, I'm parked legally. Can you You know, I've got like 2 minutes left on the counter. You don't need to, like, where's... It's not even properly marked here. You can't be giving me a ticket. Fuck off. I'll just drive it away. Try catching me now. Piece of shit. Next one. Observatory. Okay, let's go to an observatory. It's green. Does that mean it's... Oh, it's right there. Didn't we just come from here? Feels like we just came from here. Oh. Ow. Please just land. Bloody... It's like a blimp. Hee hee, hoo hoo, my name is TJ and I like poo hoo. It's true. It just feels so good when it's falling out of your ass. Destination reached. Nanites! Nanites! And navigational data, apparently. How did I get that? I don't remember selecting anything. Ooh, a thing. Aha! First aid, just in case I need it. Restore shield, just in case I need it. Anything else in here? Nope. Technology module. What have you got for me? Please be something nice. Salvage data. Gibby. The fuck? What did I turn that on just now rather than this? I don't know. I hope everyone's getting their drops. Remember, you've got to claim them within 24 hours, otherwise they disappear. Probably should have mentioned that at some point. It will tell you how to claim them when you have them in the chat. So keep an eye on it. Oh, hi. Who are you? Friend, do not look. Nothing is here. No crime. Are you doing crime? Have you stolen that? No. Ainco. Uki away. Uki away. I have caught the trader red-handed. A small device is overriding the facility's remote trade interface and is siphoning, that's the word, units directly into their own inventory. They look me straight in the eyes and make a proposition. Friend, please avoid crime. Edim and Olin, trader, share, tis, destroy, Dierkisk. Above the gentle buzz of embezzlement that now surrounds us, I can hear the lifeform's terrified gulps. The air tastes of pure fear. Demand all stolen units. Demand a share. Report crime. It does feel better to steal from the stealers. Hissing the small alien hands over the units, they immediately report a large theft to the Gek Trade Federation. I, of course, am blamed. He looks so angry. Look at him. I'll talk to you again. An eye-watering cloud of stench and loathing surrounds Captain Mollet. They have no interest in speaking to me ever again. Sorry, but you were already stealing. I don't play this, but I appreciate the idea. Fight the system's side with the thieves. Indeed. The observatory appears to have been left derelict a long time. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I know what this usually is. It's usually like a number puzzle. It's just like, you know, which way are the numbers scrolling? Or it's some mathematical thing. 2595, 5259, 9525. It will be... Hang on. 59. If we go for the 9, it's going that way. So 95, 5. So it's 59 we're looking for. 5952. Yeah. Success! The new location is revealed to me. What is the location? Please let it be a ship or a derelict or something. You know, anything that's ship-based. Signal detected. Ruins! That means ruins. I don't like ruins. Can we just not do ruins ever again? Okay. Oh, nanites. This is just a load of bollocks as well. Perform diagnostic. It's just a computer, like, realising that it's about to die and, you know, us sort of holding its hand through it. And this one is exactly the same thing, just in a different room. There we go. There we go. Just a few little extra bits and pieces. Just so that we can understand people talking. Learning a lot about the Gek today. Some of them are thieves. Thief! Thief! Right. We want a ship. Not an abandoned building. Fuck's sake. If I want an abandoned building, I gas it out myself. It's far too far away. Just out of the atmosphere so that we can get to it. It'd be alright if we didn't have to... Oh, that's not on again. There's got to be an easier way of doing that. Like, I've got to have like some way of turning it on with the all. Maybe it's something I can set up with trigger fire or something. Oh, it's loading. It's loading. Oh, there it is. Oh, and the frame rate's dropping as it's doing that. It's fine. We'll get there in a bit. No, I've just done that. Wasn't even looking at it. Come on! Do I necessarily have to be across the room for you not to try and do that again? Ooh, sodium. There you go. Now you can do exclamation mark all. Get your coins. Hopefully the frame rate will smooth out in a bit. Did I not? Okay. Maybe I need to put the graphics down on that a bit lower. Maybe I should put the graphics lower down on that. God, you wouldn't know English is my first language, would you? Oh, is there any more things here? No? Yay, you won! I wonder if there are any extra settings on that. Like, can I bring that further down? Graphic settings? Fastest? It's on the fastest. Wow. If I bring the FPS for that down to like 30, that should half the amount of thinking it's got to do. Okay. There we go. Considering it's so small on the screen, it shouldn't... Oh, I minimised it. Whoops. Can't minimise it, otherwise it doesn't update, doesn't do anything. One more of you. A ship! A ship, please! A ship! Distress signal, yeah! That's what we want. How far away is it? Oh, it must be very far away. 3 hours! 2 hours by ship! Oh, hang on. Am I able to walk from here? Wow, that took me out of the atmosphere, around the planet, and now back into the atmosphere. Oh, it's a ship. Please have no bloke. No blokes. Please. I know that's not usually how this stream works, but no blokes. Damn, the frame rate is tanking. Ta-da! You did something. Jesus. Look at the frame rate. What is going on? Is it... It is the other game, isn't it? That's suddenly become a problem. Can I make it smaller? If I make it smaller, will it no longer be a problem? Or actually, how much graphics do we actually need? Oh, everything's on enhanced. Reflections. I have not seen anything that has been anywhere near good reflections. Everything has just been super shiny regardless. Volumetric effects. Controls the quality of clouds and planet environmental particles. This heavily affects GPU performance. Planet quality, I think we want to keep that a little bit higher. Base complexity. How many base parts are visible at the same time? Decreasing this will help performance when near large player bases. Considering my base isn't huge, I don't think I'll bother. We'll try the volumetric effects as well. I didn't save those, did I? No, wrong. Reflections and volumetric effects. Apply. Ooh. It's trying. Okay. Is it alright? Is it going to think for a little bit? Does it need to think?
Toxic protection. Warning.
Yeah, it is having a shit, isn't it? Maybe if I maximise it like that. Also, what the fuck? Why has it got that bar at the top? What's that? Is that because I maximised it? Ugh. Maybe it's. I want to know whether it's maximising it that's caused that is. Because usually when things are maximised, it doesn't have to deal with it in the background. It seems to have smoothed out a bit now that I've done that. Still not great. Damn. It's alright with other games, it's just this one, because it's so, like, graphically intensive. I'm claiming you. Give me your ship. I need you to be able to fly. And launch as well, that would be ideal too. And maybe go to other places. That's all I need you to do. Excuse me? Are you okay? This chicken has a few too many limbs. Maybe leave the coin game off for this game. Seemed better before the coin. Yeah, it was, but it seems fine now that I maximised the window for it, which means I've got to go in and like just slightly crop down, because it was just like a free-floating window. It wasn't maximised. It's just a little bit jittery now, but yeah. Wait, did I? Oh yeah, I got to the ship and I took the ship and now it is mine. Please, another one. I never expected this game to run smoothly on a stream anyway. Another abandoned building, fuck's sake. You know what, maybe we can bring the graphics down a little bit more. Shadow quality, texture quality. Should we try texture quality? Texture quality. That should do a lot, shouldn't it? I didn't save it, did I? Or did I? Wait. No, I did save it. Shadow quality? I'm just bringing everything down now to see what happens. It's just occurred to me now, the thing that says drops enabled isn't like lined up with that. I should probably take the filters off then. There we go. Now it's full brightness. Brightness. Frame rate is smoothing out. It's all good. It's fine. I'm just wondering, like, how many things can I put to like minimum and it still look sort of presentable as a game? If I go and do another one. Wow, were they meant to be trees? Everything's really super blobby now. What else can we put down? Texture quality. animation quality. I mean, the animation quality isn't much different by the look of it. Graphics options again. Planet quality. That requires a restart. In that case, we'll keep it where it is. What about base complexity? I don't know.
Toxic protection. 40.
Ah, shut up. I've yet to die of it, so, you know, I'll just deal with it. At some point we should set up some monitoring software for your PC that I can view remotely. What do you mean? Monitoring? Monitoring, like system monitoring. And I can let you know the issue and what to lower in real time, not type, without you having to faff. It's just this game. It's a pain in the arse. Although, thinking about it, I do feel like my computer is drastically slowing down. I don't really know what it is. I think it might just be because my C drive is pretty much almost always full. Because it's not a big C drive. It's like 200 gig, and I've got After Effects and Premiere on there. I should move them, but I sort of need them at the moment. Okay, I'm turning the I'm turning the coin game off because, yeah, I'm just getting jitters all the time. Now that I'm seeing it, it's bothering me. And put the graphics back up because it was smooth where it was before. Now I don't remember what it was. Terrain quality, animation quality, shadow quality was up. Post-processing wasn't. Reflections, volumetric effects, I believe, was there. That's where it was, wasn't it? Terrain tessellation was down low. And it was quite smooth then. Yeah. Okay. I've done that. Did I do that one? I did do that one. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I've probably got a bunch of things that I've not turned off. Because I turned on OBS from the menu. Oh, fuck it. I turned you off! I forgot that was part of the turning my stream on setup. The coin game starts up. That's why it wasn't on. I made a batch file that turns things off and starts things up if necessary. And I forgot to use it today because I just turned OBS on and started streaming without thinking about what I was doing. I've got to go through and make sure all these things are off though, because they sort of, even though they say they're turned off, they leave an icon in the taskbar, right? Like, you know, the little menu that pops up in the corner. They still leave an icon in there, and for some reason that means they're still there, still on. It's weird. Computers are weird. I was thinking of getting a bigger C drive as well. So I just think it's just running out of memory. It can't spread out, that's what I'm thinking. It needs a bit of spreading out room. Where is the thing for this? I want navigational data. I want navigational data. Where is it? Wow, it is so jittery right now. What has happened? It's just turning that on has just really fucked it. It was fine a minute ago. Yeah, I think when I'm playing this, that'll have to stay off. Unless I can figure out a way of having it on and not having to deal with it. Maybe I'll give it a quick restart of the game, because yeah, this is painful. Now, do I get a restore point when I get back in the ship? Or out of the ship? Restore point when I get out of the ship. Okay, so I've just saved, which means I'm on this ship, on this station. Quit to desktop. 8 seconds ago. Good. Right. Just quick restart the game. And I'll have a look at the task manager as well and see what I've got going on that needs to be turned off. Okay, what's using up all my memory? Mainly OBS, which is... it's taking up a gig of memory, Jesus. Firefox. Why have I got Firefox? Oh, I've got Firefox open because... great work, your emotes are being delivered to supporters. Didn't know I was getting emotes. Yeah, I should have now all of my things, shouldn't I? For No Man's Sky. So maybe I can turn the browser off. How long have I been streaming? About 3 hours, so yeah, definitely. I want to see my drops. Play now. Oh wait, I haven't quite got the ship yet. The A-class hauler. What? 96%. Oh, I've got to keep it on then. Fine. Alright. Phone link. Why is that still on? That should not be on right now. And there it is again. Halfway down. It's got 2 versions of it. CPU, using 33% of my CPU. OBS, mainly. 20% of that is OBS. Yeah, the Xbox game client, that needs to fuck off as well. Doesn't seem to matter, like, whether you tell that not to start up or, like, just uninstall it or whatever. There's always a version of it somewhere on your computer. It's starting up in secret. You just can't get rid of it. Why is the game not starting up? I've probably... oh, there we go. Literally pressed the button about 5 minutes ago. Literally 5 minutes ago. 1,000,000 years ago, literally. You've got a 500 gigabyte drive you could have if you want. It's no, this my C drive is one of those M.2 things that goes in there. I just need a bigger one of those, which would be lovely. I need to do an upgrade, a little bit of an upgrade. Flat said that he was going to look for one for me. I think we managed to get one. I didn't say get one. We managed to find one for like 76 quid, which isn't too bad. Which is about a terabyte, I think. So that's pretty good. Just needed to make sure it was like, I think it's Gen 3. I don't know. I don't really know how it works with those things. But yeah, just need a bigger one of those, or get rid of Adobe Premiere and After Effects and put them somewhere else. It shouldn't be a problem as long as I've still got the save files for all my projects. I can just install it on a different drive, I think. I don't know, because they are surprisingly bulky. Found one for 70 quid. That's a terabyte, and from a very reliable brand. Or like right now, have you found it? because that sounds pretty good. I mean, if I have a look, actually, right, if I go into my settings, apps and features, come on, load up. Adobe After Effects takes up 3.15 gigabytes. Adobe Media Encoder 2021 takes up 2.53, so 2.5. Media Encoder for 2022, because I've got two versions, because one of them's broken and the other one isn't. But one works with one and the other one works with another one, because I can't do certain things on one version and some on the other. 3.3 gig Adobe Premiere 2021, that's why I've got the Media Encoder for 2021. Adobe Premiere 2022, which means I've got 3.5 for that. So I've got various different media encoder things on there that take up quite a lot. I don't know why the Adobe Media Creative Suite is taking up 3.5 gig. It shouldn't be. Oh, you know why that is? It's because I've got CS4 of Adobe Premiere installed. Oh, I forgot to uninstall it. So I don't need it. I think I don't need it. It's only the media encoder I need, because these things like drops enabled, they are quite hefty when they're an MOV file. They are large files. But CS4 media encoder and stuff like that used to be able to render into FLV, which is essentially the same, but fucking tiny. You can make videos like that are kilobytes in size, not gigabytes in size. So yeah, I've installed that, but I'm not sure if it needs Adobe Premiere or not. So if I uninstall it and it stops working, then I will have to keep it. Right. So what are we doing now? We're getting away from this place, and we're going for another. Oh God, come on! We're going for another one of these. Ha! Yes, a distress signal. Perfect. I love distress signals. I just love people in distress. Oh, Jesus. Can I go a bit higher and... There we go. Okay. Arrive! Come to me now! I love that it's like 1 second at warp, but 5 hours when I'm down on the planet. Now, is this going to be another ship, or is this a... Oh, there's no ship. It's interesting. What does this mean? It's obviously been a ship. I'm getting the jitters again, look. It sort of pauses every now and again. Just moving around. Hello? Hello? Have we already been here? I think we have. Why is it taking me back to places we've been? I think we tried to scan that. It shouldn't take you back to places you've already been. Okay, that's a waste. Let's go back. Try find another one. And what do we get? Building! Fuck you! And it's over there. Arrive in 9 minutes. Kioxia, Exeria, NVMe, SSD, 1TB PCIe, NVMe, 1.3 Gen 3 to 4, 2001 megabytes, M.2, 2000 and 2280, form factor, https://mzn.eu/d/dxpnskq. Good to know. The company that makes the actual flash chips for Toshiba, Western Digital, and SanDisk. I see. Maybe it's worth it. And it's on Amazon as well. Which makes it handy. Okay. Okay, we're having a bit of fit trying to land. Fuck you, tentacle. Slime. Slime. Yep, okay, yep. Just go. There we go. No. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anything else in this area? No, just gotta head here. Take your nanites. That was a lizard in that bowl there. In the jar, or whatever it is. Tube. Damaged container. Damaged container holding Gek relic. Shield at maximum. Lovely. Nice. Nice. Oh, come on. Let's just have another ship. Any other ship would be lovely right now. Just give us a ship. A ship. Ship, please. Abandoned building. Fuck off. Can I walk from here? Nope, not quite high enough. Just stop flailing around. What's wrong with you? Bang! Here we are. Right. This one, I'm just going to land next to the... I suppose I didn't do the... I didn't do the data, did I? The salvaged thingy data. This thing. And now I'm getting back in the ship and fucking off. Because I'm sick of having to go in there and do all those things. I just want the navigation data. Just so I can buy more of these things and try and get more slots, for fuck's sake. I need more slots on other things like technology and cargo. And maybe a better ship. Also, I want to see what the multi-tool thing does. I suppose we should probably go and do that. After this one. I mean, if it's another abandoned building, then we'll just go straight up to the station. It's not. It's a freighter crash site. Amazing. Oh, this is going to be fun. I mean, it's not, but it's going to be profitable, I think. It's 20 seconds away. It's not bad. Don't need to go into space for this one. Yeah. Just... Can you just go in a straight line, please? Aha! Okay. Are you not going to land? No? Too fast. That's me pressing E. And it just going, no, you're going too fast. You've done it faster before, okay? Yep. Let's just get through your bollocks. Wow, there was really not a lot of bollocks right there. Nope. Freighter salvage, that's what we want to be doing. Where is it? Where is it? It's here. Ah, there it is. Hello? Where are you? Aha! I found you! Now it's your turn to hide. Cobalt. Got loads of cobalt. What the hell is that? Oh. My own stream is like here flashing at me because I've been using it because I was just using the thing, thing. Just thing. Yay, gimme! Polyfiber. Nice. Can I, like... No. Okay. Sometimes I can do them twice. I'm not sure whether that's a bug or not. It might be a bug. I don't think it's supposed to be able to. Aha! Found you, Wheatley. No, antimatter housing. Okay. Antimatter. Nice. I love antimatter. It has got lovely taste. I like rubbing it all over my skin. Had a salvage frigate module. Nice! So, sometimes I can get them from those? Or do I have to get them from those? Like, it's a possible option for the... Hang on, where is it? For the rewards from these boxes. Alright, finish that. So I don't get it from... I don't get it from finishing the... What's he call it? Finishing the mission. I get it from the crates. So, is it absolutely necessary for me to do it? I don't think it is. Just doing the same mission over and over again. I don't think I get rewards for it. Alright, well, let's go up to the base. The star base, wherever that is. Where is it? That way. As soon as we get to space. We'll see what we can do with that little upgrade thing. For my tool. Hopefully it will be like an extension, not just upgrading the slots, because that's a bit shit. And then yeah, we can do another thing. I suppose we can transfer the ships that I've very recently done, and spitting on myself. Also, we can unlock something. Rooms! We finally got a frigate module, so we can unlock some rooms. Technical looking rooms, maybe. And I want to go in there. Oh, no, I'm far too close. Okay. Right, what I'll do is actually I'll go into my capital ship, get one of the ships that I think I'll be able to summon. That is very loud. That is extremely loud. That's buggy as hell as well. That shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so let's try and summon one of the other ships that we have. Can I summon you? Starship already docked in hangar. Starship already docked in freighter hangar. Really? Where is it? Oh, there they are. Yes. Okay, that's good. In that case... Okay, so I will take them directly over. And if that's the case, will I be able to just swap them out? I know we've been trying, and we've been complaining that we can't, but they haven't usually just been in my freighter before. So maybe they... maybe it's different now? Claim scrap worth... Oh, it's worth that much. I see. So... It's not actually the units. It's just the scrap that's worth that much. Please give me a thing. Please give me the thing that I want. Did I get one? I don't know. It's not here. Is it in the cargo? Oh. No, that's a salvage module. Oh! I got a starship storage augmentation. Perfect. Modules, augmentations. So, now, will I be able to swap it out? Wait, what? Cannot land here. Okay. That makes sense. Didn't I find 2 ships? I need to speak to this guy. I think it's... No, it's this. Multi-tool upgrade station. Yeah. Install slot. Multi-tool expansion slot. Oh, really? I can't? How about if I go to it and use it? I can't use it. Fuck you. Actually, fuck you. Because I don't think they get any better than that. I think that's it. That's just how they are. They use up those slots and that's it. For an S-class. Multi-tool, it only has this menu. Oh, that is a pain. Yeah, look, the slots are blanked out. You can't do it. Can I actually just buy slots? Upgrade starship. Apply augmentation. Purchase storage 55,000 units. Jesus Christ. Upgrade class 50 nanites. 50,000 nanites. That might not be too difficult to do, you know, with a bit of grinding. I'm already at 15,000 nanites. I mean, all that slime. Okay. Maybe that's what I'll do then. I'll spend a bit of time doing more grinding of stuff, and I'll try and sort out, you know, more modules and augmentations and stuff, and you know, just trying to make everything all good and nice, and maybe we'll try and get to the center of the galaxy like we're probably meant to be doing. I mean, isn't that like one of our... Yeah, look, reach the black hole, path towards the black hole on the galaxy map. I don't think I've done that yet. That as well. Visit your old friends. Explore the new reality. Space anomaly. Explore the new reality. There's a space anomaly. There's a new reality in the space anomaly. Yeah, whoa. Undertake missions with other travelers from the Nexus or exchange discoveries and rare products for nanites. I mean, that'll be probably where I'll be getting a lot of the nanites from. Dreams of the Deep. Yeah, there's probably a lot of stuff I should be doing. I'm probably just going around in circles. But I'll be going around in circles off camera. Thank you for watching. If you are new and you are still watching, please follow. I might be doing an art stream soon, since I have got some more canvases. Also, I found some white paint as well, a bigger tube, which was just in a drawer somewhere, so, you know, we won't be wanting for white anymore. And, yeah, I will send you over to somebody who is online right now. We have got... I will send you over to Suno Chicano, who has got 26 people watching. Let them know that I am the #1 Henry streamer. And they should all follow me, and if they want, they can tickle my balls as well. It's been a while since I've had a good ball tickle. So yeah, have fun over there, and yeah, goodbye. Goodbye now, please. There we go.